Hello, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the Star Ladder I-League 13 Chinese qualifiers. So, we're going to be looking here at the group stages of this division of the tournament, and we are looking at the Wings Gaming versus Insane Bestia, the second game in this Best of 2 series. The first game going to Wings after they do really well in the early game with a Chen movement, get a lot of towers, and build momentum. Have a little bit of difficulty in the mid game, but closed it out nevertheless. Strong performance from them, and looking forward to see Insane Buster and what they bring to this second game to throw Wings off their momentum streak right now. But going into it, and we're already into the draft, it was a very quick transition from game 1 to game 2. Admins chop on schedule, so we're going to be jumping right into it. Thanks once again for tuning in. I'm Blaze, and let's look at that draft. We've got ourselves Slardar and Ancient Apparition in the opening for the Wings Gaming. Looks like it was Night Stalker first pick, Slardar Response, and Quap as the final hero here. Now Shadow Fiend won't be in this game for once today. It's a very high priority pick and not as high priority ban. It's not a hero that you're really afraid of going up against, but Dire going up against Radiant, you probably want to take care of it just so you're not so economically disadvantaged. That being said, now that it's taken care of, we see the Quap being pretty much the queen of mid lane. There's not much that's going to be able to manage against her. I mean, yeah, you can go for the Templar Assassin, that's not too bad, but I'm sure Insane Buster have their plans for it. So for now, Rubik and Spiritbreaker being the bans out, actually. I think they wanted Bane for themselves, I guess is the best way I can explain that. If you ban out Rubik, you gotta be afraid of spell steals, and right now Queen of Pain's spells are decent, but a spell like Bane's Fiend's Grip is much easier to steal, as well as interrupt for a hero like Rubik. So, yeah, just banning out supports. Not as common do you see that. Usually it's all about core heroes, unless there's a specific counter pick coming into play. But the Winter Wyvern, really strong against Queen of Pain, and actually strong against like Wings kind of playstyle, going for those harder carries like the Ember Spirit. Ember would probably be a solid pickup here for the Wings Gaming. Still a bit in greed mode. They would have to make sure that they don't get too greedy with their mid. But yeah, they could go for an Ember here and it would be acceptable. But once again, reserve time has been something that Wings have been using quite liberally. That means their last couple of picks they won't have much time to think about. But in the meantime, Insane Buster, think a long time to go for this Clockwork pick. And while I would say it's pretty good against Ancient Apparition because you don't get punished as heavily with the fact that you can get that cog buffer out for you, and it's decent against Bane in the later stages because of course you can just Battery Assault right on top of them and prevent the Fiend's Grip from coming into play. Overall, I feel like they might be lacking momentum unless this Clockwork just plays outstanding. I mean, one good Nightmare, and you can wait out Cogs. And from there, you can just destroy this guy with the combination of Chilling Touch and Ice Vortex. And Greed is the opposite of what we're looking at here for the Viper. So, Viper is just going to be looking to win out his lane, build momentum that way, tank through just about everything. There's a lot of magic damage coming out from Insane Buster right now. A little bit of physical, a little bit of pure, but mostly magical coming out. And that's where the Viper excels with that corrosive. So, gonna be hard for the Queen of Pain to edge him out in that matchup, especially if the Bane tries to contribute the same way we've seen him do so far tonight. So, yeah, I think that already Wings Gaming can guarantee their mid lane. Their off lane, if it's the Slardar, should do alright. I'm not sure because we don't know what range support we're going to be looking at for Insane Buster in the 5 position. Dazzle is still available. Not as good this game, I would say. I mean, you're already up against an AA, but also just I feel like there's going to be a lot of heroes that die after the Grave expires. It's either through Shatter, through damage over time, and you don't really have man-up heroes just yet. Like, the Clockwork gets in position to man up, but after he's dropped his payload, you don't care if he lives or dies so much. So I feel like heroes that really take advantage of those 5-second windows are few and far between here. And I would say that Dazzle isn't as high priority, though he fits the role quite well. Could go for like a Witch Doctor, I think would be pretty solid here. You still get to heal in between the Ice Blast really well with Voodoo Restoration, so you can fuel your push, but you're not reliant on it as like a combat heal. So I would say he's pretty solid. They're going to actually tap to their full reserve time for this final pick here, and try to make their decision. I don't think they want their carry. They need to get their support. It's going to be a Skywrath Mage. More magical damage against the Viper. If Viper just goes for a Mechanism and for an Aghanims and just goes to a super tanky build, like, there's nothing for Buster here. They have to just focus on every other core. They just have to nuke down the Slardar or the Bane really quickly. The AA is never going to be in range, so you go for the heroes that are going to be on the front line. Silence the Bane, kill him off, Slardar if he's available. But at the same time, although I feel like Skywrath Mage has some great outplay potential against Slardar, he's also very vulnerable if he can't get the silence off. If Slardar blink crushes a Skywrath, that hero is so squishy with almost no base armor that he pretty much just dies. Almost through just the crush, amp damage, one lucky bash, and down goes the mage, Draconis. Wraith King in anti-mage bans. Obviously, if you're banning anti-mage, you have to consider the heroes that are countered by anti-mage, and in general, heroes that rely on their mana pool as heavily as Wraith King or any intelligence hero would be an appropriate ban. Because they certainly have the lockdown for the AM. With the Crush, with the Bane, they have ways of bringing AM down, so I'm not banning it out for that reason. They really wanted to pick up something like the Wraith King here, I think. And that's a very smart ban from Buster. But all the same, Buster still have to pick up their last hero. Ember Spirit could slip... Nope, I was about to say, Ember Spirit could slip through this entire draft unpicked, but no. It will be prioritized as a last pick for Wings Gaming. So, offlane Slardar, mid Viper, safe lane Ember, and you've got yourself a really good set of heroes to lane with. I mean, you're able to develop your mid to late game. You have a lot of strength against the heroes that we're looking at right now. Maybe you are worried about these dual silence from Insane Buster. I would say that's probably the reason that you hesitate on the Ember pick. But in the end, you still have a great set of cores, a great laning experience, and a great way to get to your mid to late game team fight if your Slardar plays well. If your Slardar is a little bit off his game, you might struggle a bit because a lot hinges on his shoulders. But either way, the Lina is going to be the last pick here, and that looks to be... Is it the safe laner? Ooh, buddy. That should be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be Skywrath and Night Stalker on supports, and they'll swap it. It's actually going to be a mid Lina and a safe lane Quap, because Lina relies on less instances of damage against the Viper. And the reason that's important, of course, is because Corrosive Skin will return damage a lot. It does a lot of damage, but over time, and through little pinpricks that don't seem to hurt much, but when that ability is maxed out, it gets really annoying to even try to Shadow Strike. Usually Queen of Pain won't bother. So instead they bring in the Lina, who's less reliant on dots, and that will give her a good start there. So, mid Lina, it looks to be, and then that would of course leave the safe lane to the Queen of Pain. That means the supports do have to roam a lot. I think we'll see a early smoke coming out from either the Skywrath or the Night Stalker, so they can start ganking, because they don't want to stick to a lane. If they're leeching half of Queen of Pain's experience, she's not really having the best of time. They want to be active on the map and finding pickoffs and kills early. So we'll see a quick pause here. Hopefully we don't have perfect world issues, because since everything's paused, I wouldn't know if there were those issues, and then I would have to go for a remake after you guys have just sat through a pause. But, yep, I think we're good. I hope we're good. Anyways, to talk about the lineups a little bit, early game rotations are going to be stronger from the Radiant side, from Insane Buster. Dire side's status quo is better, though. I would say if they just get to stick to their lanes and nothing shifts, then Dire just win out 2 out of 3 lanes easily, and then they can build up the Ember Spirit as they go along. But if there's a lot of smoke movement, if there's a lot of gank action, especially for the first night, then I can still see IB taking the early game away, and then building momentum. The Clockwork is probably going to go for a TP forward and drop a ward somewhere around here. And we'll see. That's the only reason you would go for a level 1 TP is to either scout out a bottom ward or place down a top one. So we'll see that come out pretty quickly. There he goes. And all of his items purchased as well, or at least almost all of them. So he's going to go ahead and do his own little thing here. Has an OBS and a sentry. And it will just place the OBS in a pretty innocuous position. Just one where he gets good intel towards who's going to where. Sees the Ancient Apparition maybe going for a double and knows that it's safe to leech from this position, that kind of stuff. It doesn't cover the top rune, but doesn't need to in this case. Alright, we're going to be seeing the way led by Ember Spirit. If he hides behind this tree line, he might still catch this Queen of Pain off guard. She has Blink available to her, but it's in Searing Chains that means nothing, and they're just going to burst her down. Oh, what a combo. That is not where you want to be sitting as a Queen of Pain. You want to be sitting about here, as any hero at level 1. Like, you have to be able to see the flank coming in here, as well as the direct line here. If you're walking around trees when they could be anywhere, then you're probably feeding. And that obviously costs them quite a bit. Now we'll see a very interesting little sentry here. Won't be countered by any of the southern D wards, but will be countered by any of the northern ones. And then we have this one here, which will be blocking off the hard camp. I think their intention behind this is to fake that there is a ward here in the magic bush, and they're going to go ahead and get somebody to D-ward here. I think that might just be out of... If they put the sentry ward just outside of the magic bush, they might miss both, but more likely they'll have it just inside range for the sentry ward and miss the ops. At least that's my impression, but we'll have to see. Sentry wards right now are on the clockwork, at least one of them was. The other one LT has on the Skywrath. Other than that, not too much to talk about, other than the Bane actually picking up a Null Talisman. That's actually pretty interesting. We're still going to be seeing the Viper take the core role, but the Bane has picked up a very greedy, selfish item, and that's the Null Talisman. A lot of mana to work with, but less than you would get through Clarities, and it looks like he just wants to bully this Lina as hard as possible. But LT's here, and he can bring in the Arcanes, and the Brain Sap pretty much nullifies that early. Wow, low armor Skywrath already taking a lot of pot shots here, but Ice is losing out on these trades, and he's going to have to not only tango, but get another Brain Sap off soon if he wants to keep active. Sentry, I think that's just outside of the range of the Observer Ward on the high ground, which is quite unfortunate. Up top is going to be 1v1 here, Clockwork versus Slardar. Probably Slardar happy about this situation. He can do fine in the 1v1. And although Clockwork might be able to frustrate him a bit if he goes for the Battery Assault max, it's definitely not going to be a situation that Slardar has too many issues with. Crush is a faster animation than Battery Assault ticks, so he should be able to be fine even in up close and personal, especially when he's got creeps behind him. So he crushes him, he's actually doing a lot of harassment damage, and while this should not kill the Clockwork, as he can cog under tower, it will create some issues. In the meantime, Ancient Apparition, Ember Spirit, did not expect them to be down bottom. Honestly, it does give them the nice matchup up top, but what we have down bottom instead is a pretty under-leveled AA. Getting to level 2 now, he'll get the Cold Feet, and he'll try to chain that up with the Searing Chains, but if you Searing Chain the Queen of Pain, then you're going to disable her blink for that time period, but she's still going to be able to blink out of the Cold Feet. That won't actually trigger. 4 seconds is just a little bit too long, no matter what Ember does. Set it up. Ice covering the top rune spawn. Lina heading for the bottom one. It is going to be a regen rune for the Bane. Pretty lucky for him. Viper probably doesn't want to go for a bottle here, so yeah, just going to go for the boots and use that to his advantage. Up top here, Slardar is 8-2, Beyond doing some real good work, and Clockwork 8-3, not too shabby. And they actually think there's a vision on the they know there's vision on the high ground because of how those attacks went through, but they don't actually realize how far away it is. They say, okay, well the sentry missed, so they can't have any wards right around here, but little do they know, they barely missed one, and they're probably going to waste a sentry here too. So Slardar's actually punishing Savior pretty hard here. Beyond's doing some good work. Ember Spirit taking some hits here on bottom lane. There's going to be a Nightmare to try to help him out, but they need the deny. They don't get the deny. It's going to be First Blood. Oh no, it is! It is a die. Absolutely. Ancient Apparition getting that. The exclamation point didn't pop up because of Perfect World, but in the end it is a First Blood denied. Now Brain Sap should be the finisher, and that is going to be First Blood obtained. Oh wait, no, First Blood was on the Queen of Pain initially with the level 1, so whatever. Second blood obtained. No blood spelled by IB, as there is that nice little deny there. Yeah, so they thought there was a ward on the high ground for some reason. Maybe some auto attacks or some Dragon Slaves that shouldn't have hit, but either way, they are incorrect. So yeah, Shadow's definitely the focus here. IB really want to punish him and bring him down quickly, but in the meantime, this leaves the Viper to dominate the mid-match of 22-10 over 12-1, and things aren't going to get better for Lina. They're going to get worse. We're going to see level 6 on the Viper before the Lina, and at that point, she can barely come to the lane. Cole, well, however, at nighttime, 1-1-1 with boots. You can expect him to start getting involved. The Observer Ward will maybe be the saving grace for the Viper. Depends if the Night Stalker tries to flank from here. Down bottom, though, we're going to see a Nightmare set up onto the Queen of Pain. The Searing Chains actually didn't hit. At least I don't believe they did. They're only 1 second of duration, so there's a chance I missed it. But either way, not getting the kill they looked for there. And that's a lot of mana expended.
No, you don't.
So Viper poking and prodding against the DD rune, but we're going to see an opportunity here. Concussive shot. Oh, he just barely sprints away. And down bottom, looking for another one, but not going to be doing more than poking her under tower. So Slardar is playing with fire here, but it looks like he'll be okay. LT is just too low to do anything more than just put out 2 long-range spells. There it is. It's going to be this in the concussive, the void, maybe the cripple if appropriate, but beyond under tower, no mana. Doesn't matter. He does actually get the crush here with the magic stick before going down, but Savior is the one who would be dropping low to the brain sap. One more right click, he gets it, and he gets the kill. Skywrath, however, slipping just into the Fog of War, so the Bane couldn't finish him off. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 despite a much more expensive trip to the top lane for Insane Buster. They sat 2 supports behind the Clockwork for a very long time, and just with a quick TP, they're able to turn it around. Now, though, they do have know that the Ember's going to be farming top. Maybe they have a new avenue of attack now that he's kind of defenseless up there. Ancient Apparition will make his long walk there, no boots. He's actually playing 5-position AA when they have a Bane. I find that very interesting. They got the no talisman to start, made AA buy all the starting items, and now they've got boots and Mango up on the Bane. And they really just don't want this AA to get farmed. They don't care if he gets a Midas, an Aghanims, anything more than maybe an Urn of Shadows. You know, now that the Lina is farming the jungle, instead of facing off against the Viper with Viper Strike, she needs to get her level 6 so she can be as menacing as the Viper himself. But Viper with 3 points of Corrosive Skin, even then, will pretty effectively shrug off the Laguna Blade, unless there's something else behind it. Observer Ward, placed behind. I don't believe the Radiant saw that, but Night Stalker has a lot of vision, so it's possible. Either way, though, it's for now, giving them good intel if the Night Stalker moves away. This is a great ward even in darkness, is one of the best things. Even when darkness is active, walking down that juncture will still be very telegraphed. Slardar with only Tranquils and Sprint maybe wants to get involved here on the Lina. They can start off with the Viper Strike and make it maybe a 4 versus 3 on mid. Meantime, Lina just wants her Arcane Boots, it looks like, and she'll have it. Buckler and Headdress already up for the Viper, though. Already really far ahead in net worth. 3,500 over the Lina's 27. Queen of Pain's not doing too well either. 2,400. I guess it looks worse than it is. She's only 100 gold behind 3rd place. But yeah, she's been struggling a little bit here in the laning phase. She's going to have to rebound with this ultimate. Maybe goes for a TP Sonic Wave here as they go in for the crush. They miss the crush, and they get hooked under tower. This would be a great TP for the Queen of Pain. Here we go. Beyond going to be killed off. And Ember looking to just push top in the meantime. Basilius on. Go, Bassi, go. Alright, so bottles up for Shadow. He's not actually pushing. They're just going to let Night Stalker, Daywalker walk up and hang out here, leech some long-range XP. You know, with another pretty important room. Before it was the double damage. Still got poked at by the Viper a little bit, but now it's got the Invis, and that's some kill potential with the right light strike.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There shouldn't be any detection on wings either. No, not a little bit. So this should be the death of somebody here on top lane. But we do see 2 people moving in. Beyond wants that jump, but he doesn't have it. Oh, okay. Just going in Light Strike Array, or no, just a Dragon Slave Laguna, and that's a kill. Now Shadow's looking to go under tower with 2 allies flanking in, but Beyond only gets a 2-man stun under tower, and that's not going to be enough here. This was a very ill-fated engagement here as they lose 3 for absolutely nothing. Starting off by losing the Ancient Apparition just from the Invis Lina is a really harsh aspect of that. Just Dragon Slave Laguna, so much burst damage. But then on top of that, they were really trying to set up for like a 4 versus 1 or 4 versus 2 under tower with that smoke play. Instead, they break early on the clockwork, and they get just punished really heavily. I think Innocence should just kind of hang back until he gets a 6 now. He really needs to have Ice Blast, at least level 1, to be effective. Viper, on the other hand, is getting his effectiveness handed to him just by creep after creep. 62 CS, only 1 kill to his name, but he suddenly has a 9.5-minute mechanism complete. That's outstanding. This guy is going to be so hard to kill. They're going to have to drop the Mystic Flare on him along with Laguna. Like 2 ultimates forced every single time they want to kill him. And it's not like they can like burst him down before he pops a mechanism. They don't have anything more than mini stuns right now. So Hookshot is like a second, I think, but overall he's always going to get that mechanism out. And his EHP is through the roof now. If he goes Treads, Mech, and then the Point Booster with that Max Corrosive, he's just going to live through almost anything. AA is 6-2. But overall, Soul Ring Arcane's really good for the Lina. It implies that she might want to go for the Bloodstone build since she can disassemble the Arcanes and have that item very soon. But no matter what she ends up going with, she's looking for levels more than anything else. She really needs to get level 2 Laguna and find kill momentum. Skywrath finds a 6, so pretty solid there. But the Viper isn't afraid of it. Not one bit. So obviously this is a choice, right? Like the Lina has not rushed out Eul Scepter, although that is generally the build. And that means that she isn't going to have as much catch potential. She's going to be relying on the Clock, the Night Stalker, and the Skywrath Mage. Speaking of, going right in, Clockwork goes in, gets the cogs on the Viper, who is inside, but look how tanky he is! Defensive Nightmare, Magic Wand Mech, it takes so much to bring him down, but still down he will go, and Shadow might fall with him, not even getting the last hit on Savior. So with all 5 heroes committing everything they have, they kill 3 and limp away with low HP. That could have been a bit of a turnaround if there was the Blink Slaughter available, but obviously not only was Beyond not there, but doesn't have that important item to make that counter gank play happen. So when it comes to the bigger fights here, or at least the quick picks, IB are very favored. They're making really good rotations. They're getting good surprise attacks. They're using their smoke much more effectively than that of Wings. We see smoke, however, is now out of stock. Only, oh whoa, 1 on the Night Stalker, 1 on the Skywrath. They actually have a lot left in the tank here. And I believe Night Stalker will just work towards the Hand of Midas next. So, very juicy kills. Wings now kind of on the back foot, even as tanky as you may feel you are on a Viper. It's not going to be enough if they throw every spell in the book at you. They Laguna'd, they Mystic Flared, and they Sonic Waved him, along with the Hookshot to start it all off. Sometimes you get all the hate thrown at you, and there's just nothing you can do to withstand. Not when everybody else is kind of a backline hero. The Slaughter obviously isn't, but he's still looking to find his true involvement this game. Yeah, it is going to be the Bloodstone build from the Lina. The self-heal won't be really realized if the Ice Blast is still in play, but I guess his hope is that the duration of 8 to 10 seconds will be expiring before that comes into play. And of course, the reduced death timer is always good in this kind of situations. Double no talisman on the Skywrath Mage. Is Viper going for Midas? I was just thinking about this. I saw the potential for Treads. Oh, Ancient Apparition might be denied here. Oh, okay. They're just going to try to wait it out, but it ticks too hard. That is a level 2 Shadow Strike after all. So they don't go for the auto attack deny, and the Bane's Nightmare will fail. Unfortunate. Up top, we're going to see a Hookshot come through here onto the Ember Spirit, silenced up, being nuked down, but he might be able to slip through. No! The silence is level 3. If he wasn't maxing silence here, the Flame Guard would come out and he'd try to jump away. But because of the max silence, there's no hope for the Ember Spirit at all. We will see, however, a Nightmare comes down, amping up the Crush so they can Brain Sap for the kill, and that is going to be a very nice combo there. 4 to 10 is your kill score. At least they're finding some kills on the side of Wings, but IB just seem to be doing it better and cleaner. Now it's going to be a Vanguard for the Clock. Could turn that into a Crimson, which would be very effective this game. In the meantime, of course, they're going to look at Roshan. Wings have the amp damage, so it makes it definitely possible, but the Rocket Flare has scouted out already what their intentions are. It just comes down to whether or not they can do anything about it. Half HP already. They'll commit for the slam. That is a tough call, but they go. They get slammed on, and now it's going to be Night Stalker trying to move in, see what he can do. It looks like they're just too little, too late, though. They're all in on this roast. They will take it, and now they're just going to try to cut them off and retreat. The Cogs are in perfect position to knock back Shadow here, and he's just going to have to haste on out of there. In the meantime, the Fiend's Grip will lock down Savior, and Sonic Wave only hits on 1. So things not all fine and dandy for IB, as now Viper comes right back up, and they're on the run. Shadow Hasted just does so much work as they run down the Night Stalker, and Lena just combos up hard on the Slardar. But although she gets herself a nice little killing spree, that's going to be fed immediately away to none other than the Viper for 360 gold. So, Wings getting a lot out of that Roshan, not only the kill itself, but using the Aegis to effect immediately thereafter. So, I like the idea of IB waiting and just getting them when they try to leave the pit. But unfortunately, like, the Sonic Wave wasn't really on the mark, and that Haste Rune did so much for Shadow there. Yeah, I think the Sonic Wave goes a bit differently. You can clean up the lineup a lot easier, but I mean, they were all clumped up in this tiny little circle, and you hit one guy with it. It really just isn't enough. Now the Slaughter has his blink as a result of that fight, and 043 is about to be turned around. This may look bad beyond not being able to pick up any kills himself, only assisting on 3 of the 7 his team has claimed, but he is about to really up the ante in terms of kill participation. And we see that the Viper doesn't go for Midas. I was thinking because he went the gloves before the belt that he wasn't looking for treads as much, but no, he definitely wants to tank up, soak up all the damage. But he will be going for Yasha thereafter.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Night Stalker should be going for Midas, though.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Ice Blast, a little bit annoying, but shouldn't stop them from finishing off the tower here, unless Slaughter comes in for quite a play. But the Observer Ward would scout him out, and they wouldn't be caught so easily. Glimmer Cape up for Bane, not too bad at all. He's been doing really well this game, 5 and 2, and overall had great success in his early movement. Dire don't have a ward up here, though, so the Queen of Pain spoking up with allies and looking for a nice quick pick. No matter how tanky you are, these 3 heroes have so much kill potential, they should find at least one person. It looks like the Bane is the easy kill, the Ember the tough one. We'll see how much they really want to try for it. Dire still don't see in this area, but Ember and Bane hiding. So it looks like they'll just break it from here. LT reveals himself, and the other 2 are going to be having a smoke expiration very shortly. Viper, in the meantime, did take down a Tier 1 tower bottom. And that's about it. Just them Wings playing very carefully while so many are missing off the map. Beyond looking for an opportunity here on the Daywalker, though. He wants this Midas, but at the cost of his life, it looks like, as he will now be hit by the Ice Blast, the Crush, and finished off convincingly. And this doesn't even create an opportunity up top. Like, normally you would see as soon as they go bottom, you see a tower dive top, but they really didn't commit much of anything. And the Starter could easily TP, but we're still going to see the hook shot come through. They're going to get the silence. Even the Glimmer Cape is not going to be enough to keep Shadow alive through all this damage. That's a full 50% mitigation, but he's going to buy back, jump top, and get the Searing Chance onto Savior. Very nice there. Beyond, though, very low life. Looks like he's okay if he gets Glimmered, for sure. But we're going to see a jump to try to kill off the Queen of Bane. The Ice Vortex is slightly off the mark. Why deny? Don't deny! Oh, nearly killing an ally when he didn't need to be, but double checking for the optimal positioning. A great rotation from Wings. Even if it costs them buyback, they still profit as a whole. And just a good movement there. So squishy in Ember Spirit that you can put this item on that gives you 45% added magic resistance, putting you up to I think like 60% somewhere in there, and still they'll just eat the full Mystic Flare, the Ancient Seal. It doesn't work out the way you want it to. It's all multiplicative, so like Glimmer's still really good against Ancient Seal. It's not nullified by it entirely, but at the same time, just too squishy. Shadow needs to build up his health pool, it looks like. He wants Battle Fairy, but can he really afford to go it with all this silence? I would say no. I would say go Manta. Get rid of at least one of the two silences every fight. So Viper's got himself a Yasha. He might go do the same thing. Just get rid of the miss chance more than anything else. But there were a couple items I did want to talk about. We do have Ags approaching on Queen of Pain. We do have Bloodstone. Oh, we're going to see a little engagement here. It looks like it's just a Slardar going too far forward here. Blink on cooldown, gets caught out. And they're going to chase here, find an opportunity on the Bane. He's going to Nightmare, and it looks like he'll be fine. Hook shot is available, but range is not there. They're all going to TP top instead, where Lina's going on the Ember Spirit. They will follow it up with the hook shot, but there's a mech, and I think Shadow will be focused down. He gets silenced, he gets caught, he gets killed. So they wanted to try to turn that, but Viper very quickly realizes how much of a losing situation that is. And unfortunately, Innocence still looks to have his blood shed. So that's going to be the Midas on the Night Stalker, as well as the Crimson Guard finished on the Clockwork. Really like that item this game, between Sleight of Fist, the relatively low damage but fast hitting Viper, even the Slardar, who relies on more on attack speed than attack damage. All these heroes are mitigated really heavily when they're up against block effects like Crimson Guard. So you're going to see, like, unless the Nether Toxin is getting a huge bonus, you're actually going to see heroes hitting for like 50 damage, no more than 70 against the Crimson Guard. They will, however, blow a lot on that illusion. Feeling very confident, feeling a lot of momentum here, so they're just gonna go ahead and take every opportunity they can find. But in the end, not the end of the world. Ice down bottom, trying to keep his cores farming safely. And in fact, we see Beyond in the enemy jungle killing mud golems, so really just trying to find the safest place to hide. In the meantime, yeah, pinging out a lot of wards that they know very mysterious. I mean, they do have a ward here. So, but that was only recently placed, and actually, I might be confusing the two colors. The olive color or gray is kind of similar to the yellow color, so it's a possibility that I'm thinking of the wrong team. Either way, we have Beyond actually going for a crush here on Lina. This unorthodox jungle farming pattern has actually netted them a nice little kill here. That will end up being a suicide via Bloodstone. Hookshot will cancel the TP of Beyond. Crush will not get him away here, unfortunately, so that is going to be another attempt to deny. I don't think they saw that, but even still, they go ahead and immediately back out, losing the Slardar for the Lina's Bloodstone charges. A lot of really aggressive Observer wards here for the Radiant, and yeah, it looks like those were Radiant pings, as there is not any denying coming into play at all. Shadow is now completely under IB's vision, and they will look to make more gameplays happen. Speaking of gameplays, it's going to be the Ice Blast here on the Skywrath Mage as he gets hit by just about everything. And although there is a nice little silence, one more auto attack or just the dot tick will shatter him. That squishy Skywrath tries to do everything he can there, but it's too late. I think even if the Bane used the Glimmer to get in, that there's absolutely nothing he can do in that situation. And he probably had to. Like, you'd Ancient Seal a Bane that's just walking up to you. So either Fog of War, or more likely the Glimmer Cape used to get in position. But that Midas still going to be doing work for the Night Stalker. Should be slightly delayed, but relatively effective Ags timing for him. If he gets to about 28 minutes, I would say that's close to the average timing. I haven't looked at the stats on it. Just that's the median, I would say. And yeah, he might get it maybe closer to 29 or 30 at the current rate, once he finds a couple good kills. But they're going to at least get the tower down bottom, as that will be sieged very quickly. Ice Blast going to come through, but only on the Lina, who doesn't seem to care too much. But Bane here, glimmering around. Doesn't have much mana to work with, has to mind that. And does that TP cancel? I'm not sure, but right now it's going to be Slaughter grabbing a DD rune and running for his life to try to help out bottom. If they want to fight bottom, they need a Slardar, that's for sure. And it looks like that's not going to happen. He's running, he's running. Radiant Vision sees the Slardar across the map. So if they're going to go, it would be pretty much now. But they're not going, so they won't take advantage of the fact that Beyond did not have the ability to finish that TP. I think he was the one to cancel it, so either way, he has reconvened with his allies right when they end up going in. And now Beyond's in a great position to go for the Blink Crush. Only gets it on the Night Stalker, though. Not the best target. They'll put everything into the Night Stalker, and he'll say, so what? BKB bopped on the Viper, but Laguna Blade out onto Shadow. Can they nuke him down? Nice Light Circle Ray, but they actually lose the Queen of Pain. And now the Crush will be off the mark, but still, Shadow ticking low. Bottle sips. She's going to be fine. So yeah, a really, really convincing fight for Wings. They do blow a lot on the Night Stalker early when he's not that important, but at the same time, the IB's intelligence heroes are so damn squishy that it turns out to be actually a pretty even exchange, easy exchange to just pop a few spells, kill off both Quap and Skywrath as well. But whether or not IB are scouting this out, it doesn't matter. This is going to be going in favor of Wings. So yeah, I think the big deal there was the BKB and the Viper. I mean, I was talking about how tanky he was already, but you can't actually do anything to this guy during BKB.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So, and just using the Yasha for kind of farming speed. He gets movement speed and attack speed out of this Yasha. I don't think he's going to turn into Manta if he went for a BKB. Ember Spirit, he's going for a straight BKB too. Oh, that shows how sad this Ember Spirit is this game. 6,700 net worth. Doesn't seem too bad, but it really actually is atrocious. Hookshot gonna fail in mid, trying to come out of smoke and BOTN, but end of the day, they've got vision over the enemy territory, and they're gonna maybe look to punish Ember one more time. They still have that smoke. Even if they don't have a hookshot here, if they can just jump in, get a silence into Cogs, that might still be favorable. But Shadow, keeping his distance here, very far away, and he'll just jump over to Creeps. No! Oh, if there was a Yules, that would be a kill, but he's just going to blink Laguna. Flame Guard's on cooldown for one more second. No, Lina misses the last hit. The mechanism comes out. Now the Crush. Lina going to be going down quickly. And while she'll be back in 43 seconds, she will be back with only 4 Bloodstone charges. Comboing up on Savior with ultis will clean him up as well. And they didn't even get the bloody Ember Spirit. He was without Flame Guard. He jumps right into the midst of them, and they bring him down to 1 hit from death. But the Value Ogre Club does its job, and Shadow survives. Jeez Louise, that is so frustrating for IB. They had control of the game early. They had great wards to set up for this kill. For the past 7 minutes, they've been looking for an opportunity like that. And then it just whiffs right on by them due to Searing Chains, canceling target priority. Oh gosh. What a disaster. And frozen ammunition from the Ancient person is going to be heading towards the opposition, but it will only go right by. They'll get vision of the Skywrath, and then he'll know to get the hell out of there just in time. BKB finished on the Ember just because of that fight. He was nowhere near it before. But because he participated in those kills, and maybe picked one up, I know he assisted. I know Bane got the kill on the Lina, but even still, Shadow, suddenly BKB, and suddenly is no longer a target to take down. You force the BKB from Shadow, and then you immediately look to kill somebody else, because it's pointless to look at this no-damage Ember Spirit that your Crimson Guard blocking, and bother focusing him any longer. That'll change as like the Battle Fury or Daedalus comes through, maybe even like maybe you don't go Battle Fury now, I don't know. I mean, it's still great for high ground defense, but it's not like you're going to be playing a farming game now that you're this far behind. Oh well. Maybe you go for a Desolator, maybe you go for the Daedalus first, I don't know. Battle Fury in the end is still the best late game item, but I think he's looking to run a mid game build. Anyways, Ember is no longer a hero to kill. for the side of IB, other than to stop him from farming. In terms of in the middle of fight, he doesn't do much damage, and he's way too tanky now when he pops VKB. So instead, I guess you focus on the Slardar and the supports. They're the only ones that are really vulnerable right now, as the Viper is in the same boat. And he did complete Manta Style, making him even tankier, as well as allowing him to split push.
Dire's top tower
Same time,
is
Tier
under
2 is
attack.
going to be dropping low here for the
Radiant's
Dire
bottom
side.
tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
But they're all converging here
Dire's
towards
top tower
the bottom.
is under attack.
There's still an Aegis on the Viper, if only for one more
Dire's
minute.
structures
He's just
are
going to
fortified.
very happily go up to the top of the steps. There's really nothing to scare him now. And while they will finish this Tier 2 tower, they're immediately going to have to run
Dire's
home.
top tower has fallen.
Lina has the BOTs, so that shouldn't be a problem, but all the same.
Is under attack.
It's going to be a nice little forced crush trying to catch up with Lina. She will get hit by the Ice Blast, but it's going to be Call that gets focused down here. One more hit will be him shattering. And Viper, if he just gets back for the regen rune, they can definitely break this Tier 3 tower, even look at the racks. So, the Aegis popping in 20 seconds. Maybe they just push now. They got a couple earned charges on the Viper anyways. And they'll just try to put him up.
Is under attack.
Looks like they're trying to fake it and just go for the Tier 2. Alright. Less ambitious than I'd like to see, but they're currently in control of the game. So, can't really blame them for taking a more conservative
Radiant's
approach.
middle tower is under attack.
Viper is now topping net worth over the two intelligence heroes, but Shadow, without a BKB, could be vulnerable. He jumps through, but right into the open arms of the enemy. No, the Fiend's Grip on the Lina is huge as they Ice Blast her and lock her down. The Queen of Pain may blink out, but Lina will be shattering, suiciding with her Bloodstone, while they lose the Clockwork as well. They did kill the Slaughter, they didn't even kill the Ember, because he didn't have a BKB, but it's still the Viper that they have to worry about here. And he's going to lose the Urn. It looks like he isn't really confident from this position, so they're going to back off for now. But they were looking for a much easier opening, and they just couldn't find it. At least they did wait out the Aegis effectively and didn't lose more than 3/4 of the Tier 3 tower. This should be enough time for Night Stalker to build up his Ags. I don't think Wings will push an end or even take a lane at Rax before this Ags is done, since the Midas is fueling it. So we're going to see that pretty soon. He's only 1,400 gold off. Like I said, pretty far behind average for the Night Stalker, but he'll get there. For the 36-minute nighttime is when we're going to be seeing that Aghanims really help out. Hopefully at 35:10 if he times his darkness right. And that's when they can start taking the map back. Maybe buy a gem for him. It's a little dangerous because everybody is so easy to kill right now. But at the same time, you have to take those risks if you're going to take back the map. What is Ember going? Nothing conveyed just yet. But Slaughter's going for yet another BKB. That's right, guys. We've got not one, not two, not three, but going to have 4 BKBs for the side of Wings. And it's just because the Skywrath is completely nullified by BKB. Currently, the Lina as well. If she had an axe that she could punch through it, but in this case she's not been able to farm much more than just the Bloodstone, BOTs, and Blink. She has died quite a bit, 3, 4, and 9. Man, this Bane though, this guy is hella farmed. Bane is actually right now 5th in net worth, above the enemy Clockwork. He has gotten Glimmer and BKB, he is 7, 2, and 7. He is feeling really good about himself. In the meantime, AA just looking for a 4-staff, and he'll find it. Not bad against Clockwork, against Night Stalker. Even against the Skywrath Mage is pretty solid. In the meantime, though, it seems like IB are kind of at a loss of what to do next. They really are just farming this Night Stalker and holding back until they can finish the Ags. They really don't have anything they can do in this game for the next 3 minutes. Atos on Skywrath Mage soon. I would say the VIP booster is a lot more important than the intelligence, but he likes to spam. He likes to use that arcane bolt actively. So he's an ultimate glass cannon right now. But if he gets the VIP booster, then he'll be a little bit better off and maybe can kite the Slardar a little bit. Anyways, Hex does come out for the Queen of Pain on top of her Ags, so that's actually really solid. And the Clockwork is going to be looking towards an Ags of his own, so he's halfway there. This is going to give them a lot more lockdown than they previously had, being able to Hex jump on the Ember, multiple hook shots to continue the chase, even the Atos to slow targets down. That being said, we are going to be seeing a Lincoln Sphere pickup for Ember, just going for the most deep. Well, it could be Battle Fury still. Never mind, I won't pass judgment. Shadow is in a. No, he's going for the Battle Fury. Okay, so he's trying to go for the comeback. It's going to take a while, but he feels like the BKB gives him enough this game, and I would tend to agree. Meantime, Viper looks for the MKB. At least I would presume so. Daedalus isn't bad on the hero, but maybe you get caught by a Crippling Fear and your Manta and BKB has been used. I don't know. Anywho, we actually have a nice little play up top here. I actually really like this movement. If they could just get one little catch, get the Blink Hex onto Shadow, they can absolutely combo it up. There he is. He used the Slight. There's the Pig, and that's going to be an easy kill. That's a really nice move coming in from IB. The Insane Buster busts through Wing's backline and finds himself a delay game. It's going to be a tier 2 lost, but they're not under direct pressure here in mid. And Roshan going to be spawning. Little will the Radiant know. The Dire, it looks like, will be patient enough. No, they actually won't see it. Beyond leaves the pit. And the Ice Blast, I think, soared right over, but the Rocket Flare for sure scouted it. So yeah, that was Dire and Radiant Vision there. They both saw the Roche. But who will be able to make the move first? Becomes a real question. Queen of Pain has a level 16. So rank 3 ultimate. Shiva's on top. They have a lot more AoE than they did before. But I really feel it comes down to how they choose their engagement. Last time, I would say they had potential in the pit as well, but they got slaughtered because they just engaged it poorly and didn't have the right targets and focus. The way that Wings were able to segment it out was like 2 supports here, 1 brawler here, and then the cores, which ended up breaking out of the pit from the sides. So they really were able to spread themselves out despite being caught in a choke point, and that means that it comes down to IB to prevent that and to get the better initiation. MKB finished for the Viper. It's a good long-term build, just making sure that you don't get countered by Solar Crest and the like. Halberd's pretty good against Viper too, though he still has 8 seconds left on his BKB. But we'll see them just look for the smoke in. Rocket Flare going out now. Gonna be seeing it when the Roche is just about 2/3 HP. So they'll get information. Whether or not they can use it is the real question. It looks like they're just too far away. They'll know about it, but the Viper just happened to go right up in his business and take the Aegis while the Bane takes the cheese. Nope, Slaughter will grab the cheese. And I think Wings look to end with this. After that, it gets a little bit dicey. I mean, yeah, they have the late game, but if you have so much control over the game like they do now, where the net worth and the experience is completely equal, and they have the better heroes to siege and push to the base, you don't want to risk a chance pick-off like we saw on the Ember before, where he just gets caught by the Hex. You don't want to let those opportunities come back and haunt you. So, yeah, I say... Oh, Ice, nice little Glimmer Cape trying to catch out the Queen of Pain, but no. Slips away. And is actually now inside the Dire base. They do not see this. And they probably won't see this as he continues to just jump away. But, yeah. They do have a lot of good vision out, though. We do see that the Ancient Apparition Y, not Innocence Y, is able to get some good wards out. Ice as well. And even one that blocks the camp spawn.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
While they farm up their Battle Fury on the Ember. So yeah, I feel like Wings do want to at least take a lane of Rax with this Aegis. It really would cement their advantage. It would build them back into a position where the game becomes harder and harder to lose. Right now, it's still teetering on making sure the Ember doesn't get picked off by a Blink Hex. But if they take a Rax, and the creep momentum is constantly pushing against them, then it doesn't really matter what IB get for themselves. That being said, the Night Stalker is moving about on the map. Actually going to see a nice blink away from the Lina. Could have been much worse. They just give a quick zap to the Ancient Apparition, but the Laguna Dragon Slave's not enough. And the Shivas as well. But yeah, so you've got a Night Stalker roaming around here. He's giving clear vision to his entire team. This is just Radiant Vision as he goes ahead and drops some wards down. And they're going to be looking to de-ward as much as possible. I will note that he just blocked his spawn. I'm not sure why, but maybe he just doesn't know the ward positions as well, or maybe he thinks that that camp is just as likely to be farmed up by Wings as by his own teammates. Either way, at night, he sees all. And on the contrary, you look at Wings' vision, and it's pretty lacking. Due to darkness, they really don't see very far in front of them, even on a level playing field. So the Night Stalker should see everything but a smoke coming, and that makes Wings' smokes that much more valuable. None in stock, one active, none of the courier. So this is their last smoke for quite some time. They have to make it count if they want to end this game soon. Ice Blast scouting things out. Could be a great play to jump on the Lina, but no, she doesn't get hit by the Crush. Only the Ice Blast, and she's just fast enough to keep moving away. Beyond has Force Blink coming soon, but no, they'll just grab themselves with their own D-ward with the gem that was purchased by Y. Alright, Viper in a really good position just to wail on the tier 3 tower here. It's already been chipped out quite a bit. FTD.A will try to force one TP back. I'm not sure how successful she'll be, because she obviously intends to force that TP and then blink into the tree line and TP back to fight a 5v4. And Wings has no intention of letting that happen, so she's going to slowly prod at this tower, but I think Wings are just going to force here on bottom. They're actually going to go for a Crush initiation, but that's just kind of zoning them back. And they do end up TPing the Ember, but of course he has that Remnant, so he can just jump back down bottom in a moment's notice. We're going to see Viper taking a lot of damage, but doesn't even bother with the BKB here. Just goes ahead, soaks up some of it, maybe gets earned up a little, and then keeps doing his own thing. Oh, no earn charges, so it's going to be the Sonic Wave that brings Viper pretty low. But in the meantime, they've taken the melee racks, the tier 3. They've only lost their tier 2 in mid, saved their tier 3 up top. So Wings overall taking the first step towards victory. And I think they'll look to do one more thing with this Aegis before they go. So we'll look for a courier that brings in some healing salves, or maybe a Viper who just BOTs to the front lines. But speaking of last smokes for 2 minutes, this is the last smoke of LT. What they're going to plan to do is use darkness the second the smoke breaks, and this will give them all the vision they need to make the right call. So right now they're going to go in without darkness to not freak anybody out, to not surprise anybody, but their sights are set on Shadow, and they're going to pop darkness and go on him hard. But can they get the Hex? Because the BKB will nullify everything but this Sheepstick, and they have to start with the Hex. There's a good opportunity. They go in, they're going to pop it, but the 4-staff Glimmer from Ancient Apparition and Ice. They don't get the Fiend's Grip here, but they do get the kill on the Queen of Pain, and dashing the dreams of IB's comeback. Savior can't even get the hookshot away. He'll just be cleaned up here, and that's going to be 2 kills going against Insane Buster. And that might just be a 2-0 for Wings in this match here as they look to push in on the back of that. We are going to see Darkness expire here in like 20 seconds, and at that point it is daytime for the next 2. So Cole pretty unhappy about his current state, and of course the Queen of Pain and Clockwork dead in the grave. This should be the last thing Wings need to really break the base wide open. That being said, the Cheese is still in the Slardar. Maybe give that to the Viper? Nah, he's got a Reaver. He's fine. He's tanky. And the Ember Spirit is cleaning up the lanes while being able to... Oh, he doesn't have BOTs. He doesn't have Remnants. And he's actually going to be maybe soloed? No, he very luckily dodges out the Light Strike Array and then heads up top to where his only Remnant was. So he's not involved in this, but Lina is TPing back. And they'll just take that. They say, okay, Clockwork, Queen of Pain, you're back. We've taken tier 3 towers, now we're going to take a tier 2, and there's really nothing you can do about it during the daytime, where you can't find that flanking vision. But that is a surprise factor. Back-to-back smokes are pretty uncommon at this stage in the game because of just how scarce that resource becomes. So the fact that they just got a smoke not even 2 minutes after their previous one may give them the opportunity to catch Wings off guard when nighttime hits, which will be at... Well, he could just pop Darkness now and that'd be fine. Oh, 15 seconds from now anyways. Oh, what a big pickup from Shadow, though. This Lincoln's is actually dream-crushing. This Lincoln Sphere makes it almost impossible for them to find the opening. Again, the only opening they really had was to blink Hex the Ember Spirit, and now that doesn't work. Unless the Queen of Pain just buys a Force Staff right now, and that would be buying out her buyback. She's actually going for the Euls, it looks like. Or Refresher. Nah, she's going Refresher. It's a better item, but again, now they have absolutely no way of picking off this Ember Spirit, no matter what they do. And a long-awaited BKB comes out for Slaughter. I have no idea why Beyond just suddenly stopped farming, but he has the item that he needs. He doesn't really need anything else but buyback to close out the game. In the meantime, we're seeing an Ancient Apparition who, throughout a very long 44-minute game, has been playing the 5 position and therefore is still working towards his Aghanims after his point booster. But interestingly enough, before him is Ice Ice getting an Aghanims of his own, which I have to say is probably the worst Aghanims in the game, other than the duration increase. Duration increase, 5 to 7 seconds, could be really great. Often isn't relevant, because you can kill something in 5 seconds very quickly at late game, but the tricky part, the little interesting blip, is this, like, nightmaring people that auto-attack you. Which essentially is just the same thing as a Ghost Scepter. I don't know. It just means people won't attack you. Whatever. It's not important. What is important is we're going to be seeing the long duration disable on this Clockwork, and they are going to take about 6 seconds to kill him. In the meantime, the Viper is going to be fighting out against the Lina, and Ice Blast will connect to shatter her with the next auto attack. Buybacks are going to be required first from the Lina, then from the Queen of Pain. If they're going to hold the line here, they have to get some ultimates to connect. Beyond's under tier 4, slowed heavily, but he has the cheese and no pop it now. Nice steering chance onto LT. This could be the death of the Skywrath for good. No, he has a buyback, and he's going to have to use it as Beyond crushes him down. But now that third buyback is going to be the deciding factor. Can they turn it around after all has been said and done? Cole will go down on the front line. Night Stalker buying back. This is their last reinforcement. They have only actually lost the Clockwork as a result of their triple buyback, but it doesn't matter, as they've only claimed 1 life in the process. GG is called. IB tap out. Wings will take a massive swing of golden experience, but most importantly, the conclusion of this game, a 2-0 victory. Only 25 to 20 in 45 minutes, that's 1 kill a minute, not too exciting in that regard, but the tensions were high, and well, IB really were struggling to find their opening. But that last pick, Ember Spirit, was still value for Shadow. He's still very comfortable in that hero, even when he's being hunted. I mean, he was fine on the bottom lane, but whenever he rotated top, IB has just started converging 3v1 on him over and over and over and over, and really tried to put pressure against him. And while it worked for a long time, because he just took so long to build up the BKB, after he had that, they only found like 1 or 2 picks on him. So he was able to stabilize. The Viper was able to dominate. The Viper actually had 600 GPM without a Midas on this hero. That's really impressive. And at 45 minutes, with that kind of a GPM, is still very relevant. Where he does taper after like the hour mark, 45 minutes is still his stride. So with MKB, Heart, Manta, BKB, and 2 sets of boots, he's able to get the job done. Very nicely done from the Wings Gaming. That's going to wrap up a 2-0. A lot of their games seem really close. Like, they never have the most convincing of wins, but they're also always able to bring it back from the brink. So, exciting stuff from Wings Gaming. Proud of them to pull it through, and we'll see what they can bring to the next stage, as I think that guarantees them the progression into Stage 2. It's still an online stage, but... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong screen. Well, hi guys. Anyways... Yeah, that's going to be wrapping up the second match for today, Wings versus Insane Buster, leaving us with our third and final match, ESD versus EHOME.L. So, these guys haven't been performing as well as they would like to throughout the group stage, so very important for either team to take this win and not end up in last place in their group. But we'll be seeing it in just a couple minutes, as we are right on schedule. Thanks once again for tuning in here to the Beyond the Summit presentation of Star Ladder I-League 13 China. We're going to be going into the next best of 2, and congrats to Wings Gaming for their 2-0 here. Once again, I'm Blaze. You can follow me on Twitter at BlazeCasting, and we greatly appreciate your viewership. Alright, just a few minutes break, and we'll see the next game and some more Dota 2.